So following up from the latest rail build video, in this video I'm going to show you where is a good place to put a rail and conditions probably more specific to New Zealand. Okay, welcome back to another video everybody. This video right here is really back to basics flatland skimboarding with where to look for and where to put your flatland skim rails. Now I've just built this brand new one. I'm in a van right now trying to keep out of the wind. It's a pretty horrible day, to be fair. It's the middle of winter. It's not too cold. It's going to be cold with the wind, but she's blowing probably 25 to 30 knots. I've found a little spot. So what I'm going to do is go over, give you a few suggestions as of right now as to where to find conditions in New Zealand. Now here in New Zealand we have some absolutely fantastic flatland skim. Not all of it is located at tidal beaches. A lot of our flatland skim is found in creeks that run onto beaches. Now, bigger harbours, so sort of townside harbours, can be very good, but what I've found in New Zealand through my 10 plus years of travelling around is a lot of it is creeks. Now, the spot I'm going to skim today is exactly that. It is brown, it is peaty, it is not necessarily dirty, shitty water, it is just peat coming out of the ground. So, has a bit of a twang, has a very earthy smell, very earthy taste, of course, if you end up tasting it. I've just managed to find a little run in it, so we're gonna hit this up, and for a couple of tips as to where to actually find a spot. Now, I go on Google. Google Maps is a fantastic resource for this because you can just find out, you can find out creeks and outflows and little harbours and things like that, and just browse and search, check tides. The beauty of creeks in positions like this is that they're not tidal, so you can actually skim them all day. You don't have to factor in the tide, nothing like that. The sort of flip side to that is sometimes they can be a bit dirty and a bit off, especially if there hasn't been rain, because it's just the same stagnant water sitting in there, which we have skimmed from time to time. But I'm going to give you a few little rail basics. I've built this box, which was in the last video. I've got it in the back of the van right now. I'm going to go set up. I'm going to give you a little tutorial. I'll run this over with you now. When it comes to wax, you need to wax a rail. I've got a brand new just candle here from the warehouse, $3 or $4. You need hard wax. Skate wax works the best and perfectly. You can get big blocks for bugger all. This candle is like $3 or $4, and we rub this on the pipes. This is a brand new rail. Doesn't necessarily need wax because it's brand new. I'll give it a little lick anyway, and you want to keep the wax and the pipes clean and slick. And one thing to note, please bear with me today because it is very windy, so we may experience quite a few audio issues, which I'll try to sort out later on if I do. So now what we do here, wax. All we want to do is wax the pipes. As mentioned, these are brand new pipes, so they don't need a lot. All we want to do is keep them slick and fast, and the wax really helps with that. When it comes to water depths with a rail, there is a general rule of thumb we like to use. You don't want to be too shallow, in which water you can't ollie out of, and you don't want to be too deep because it'll make the run slow and boggy. I tend to work off the top of my feet. If the water's lapping over the top of my feet, bottom of my ankle seems to be about right. Again, test it with normal ollies. Sometimes if you've got a really shallow run, you can dig yourself an ollie hole in front of the rail to your proper depth. This is sort of personal preference for a lot of people, and it's up to you to test. Generally, I work about the top of my foot mark for the depth of me. Pop the rail in and go. Now, so one thing I forgot to mention when talking setup, you do not want shells. Do not skim rails at a shelly beach. They will cut you to shreds. And the other thing is dead water. You're typically wanting calm dead water. You don't want the depths changing run to run. That's basically just means you're going to have a bad time. So I managed a few runs in before the weather really impacted what I was doing. Bloody keen this morning. Hope that helps with a little bit of info towards setting up a rail. That was of course an Ollie on setup. With a ramp on setup you can go much shallower, because the shallower run you have, the faster the run. The only suggestion I really have for a ramp on rail, which I may do a build video soon if anyone's after it, is that the fronts of the pipes, we don't put tow guards on the rails, and so the front of the pipe, you just want the water deep enough so the front of the pipe's under the water. That's pretty much my only suggestion, and much like an Ollie on, if it's too deep it just slows the run down. So that's just another rail setup video. I will be going back to basics with all things skimboarding, mainly focusing on the New Zealand skimboarding scene. So feel free to drop any comments, suggestions, video ideas down below, and I'll try to get them covered. I'm going to be covering topics like the best places to skim in New Zealand, wave skim, flatland, basically everything, board builds, pretty much you name it, I will cover it. So subscribe to keep up to date. I'm Sam Price, I'll see you at the beach.